Hey everybody, I'm Riley.
And I'm Todd, and welcome to season two of Barber Cuts. So, hope you all have enjoyed your break. I certainly did, except till now, because there's all kinds of snow and ice out on the Memphis streets as we record. But that's okay. So, we thought instead of doing an album, we wanted to let you all know that we're back in the listening groove. We'll give you an album at the end of this episode, but since we keep mentioning this poster and then self-awareness shaming ourselves that we should do an episode about this so-called poster, we figured we would start off season two with talking about the poster and how we came about this podcast. So we'll start there. But before that, you got to go to YouTube and watch or see because I'm sporting my Barber Cuts sweatshirt that a little elf got me for Christmas. So thank you to Riley the elf for my Barber Cuts sweatshirt. It has been nice and toasty. So that being said, let's talk about this poster. So do you want to
Yeah.
start the story, Ryan?
I guess I can. Um, so there is this all will make sense, I promise. There is a store in Knoxville on a street called Gay Street. There
In a
it
galaxy long, long ago, far, far
yeah,
away.
it's a street called Gay Street. It's in downtown. It's where you can like walk and everything. And when parents come up to visit, my brother and I, we like to go there. And then over there is also like a little farmer's market. So we kind of just wander around downtown. And there's this wonderful store called Bliss. Shout out Bliss on Gay Street.
Yes.
Um, Side note, I
Free
also got a
marketing.
coat there that I always get compliments on every time I wear it. So shout out
Yes.
Bliss.
I know the coat.
Um, yeah, but we were wandering around, and something that is important to note, but also embarrassing, a little embarrassing to admit, is when people go shopping with me, specifically my family, I am like hard to please, I guess, when picking things out. Specifically, Brother Pod's goal is to like wander around if it's a women's store, which Bliss kind of is, and find things he thinks I like, and he'll show them to me to try to get me to admit that I like something he picked out. Usually, and he tells it better than I do, but apparently my catchphrase is, "Oh, I saw that," and then nothing else. And that's like, that's
And we've all heard this.
yes. Or the one that I give to Mama Pot a lot is, "Oh, I like that. For me? No, for you." I do that one a lot. Um, I apparently am just like picky when it comes to stuff. So we were running around the store and he's looking in like the clearance sections and like the random knickknack sections of the store. And he comes across this clearance poster that's called like greatest or bucket list album. Which I think is important to note. I'm not sure if we've mentioned that. A lot of the albums we've listened to are considered some of the best albums of all time. That's not necessarily what the poster was. So if there's some
Correct.
albums that you're like, I don't think that's been on any list of like the best albums, it may not be.
Or
Um,
it's way,
it
way down the list.
yeah, it's well, first of all, it's not like by an official music program or anything, so let's be aware of that. But also, they only do one artist, or this poster only does one artist, and not all of them are like the best of all time. They just have something unique and special about them that makes them worth a bucket list
Right.
listen. So
And
I
I've
can
even
like read
noticed
all.
with some of them that the album they chose for the artist is not even, quote unquote, the best. Or what I would tell
Yeah,
people, hey, this one, go listen to this one.
yeah,
So,
it's kind of like I think of that with the Pink Floyd one we listened to, and
right.
even the Beatles, like
The Beatles.
that. Abbey Road and Dark Side of the Moon are both iconic albums. And so
Right.
that's why they got listed, even if personal opinion or like the majority opinion is like, I can't remember anything other than the Wall. I don't think that's the album.
Yeah, The
The
Wall,
Wall pink. Okay. A lot of people think The Wall is better and
Sergeant
I can't
Pepper.
remember the Beatles. Sergeant Pepper is better. But I mean, it's hard to say that those are necessarily more iconic, quote unquote, to
Right.
most people than Dark Side of the Moon, Abbey Road. So those are the ones I'm thinking of. But I'm like kind of reading all of this on the back of like this little box that has this poster in it. And it's supposed to be like scratch off art. So after you listen to one, you scratch it off, go on. And I'm like, this is really cool. And Wesley like audibly goes, yes, like because he found something that I liked. And so we end up getting it, and I'm like, I really want to listen to all of these like things. And so I kind of got the inspiration to try to listen through all of them and give them all a chance, more than I had before. And then
And then I said, I'll listen with you. Like, okay. And so that really started even, to back up even further, you know, I guess you've always liked music and so has, I mean, our whole family likes music. We're not musicians. I played instruments in high school, but not since then. And so we like music. We like listening to music. Um, but you and I oftentimes, especially as you got a little bit older, I can't remember exactly when it happened, but at some point in time, we would start having in-depth, long conversations about songs, about artists, and then, oh, this artist said something about this other artist and their music, and this one sounds like this one, and have you heard this? And it even kick-started even more as you start to get, go for those that go back to season one and listen to the Reliant K episode where you can talk about where you started to form your own likes and dislikes of music. And so even in that, so that was neat to sit there and have those conversations with you. However, it was not as neat apparently for the rest of the family because they would all of a sudden go, uh-oh, they're at it again, and walk away or tell us to leave because they were watching TV or doing something and we have now interrupted and they knew that we could potentially go on for long periods of time before somebody finally said, all right, y'all gotta be quiet.
yeah, which honestly, kudos to them for like I think they do a good job of like recognizing that it's kind of a neat thing that we have.
Yeah,
And so what will happen almost every time is like Brother Pod will like stick in it for a little bit and then he'll like tap out.
yep, yep,
And Mama Pod and him will go off and do something else and they'll kind of say they will say like you can have this time, but like leave or
yeah,
we will. Like
yeah.
because we want you to have it, but we don't want to be a part of
Yeah,
it.
and just so just another example. I guess it was over. Was it Thanksgiving when y'all were home when we played the board game with the microphone?
Oh yeah.
Was that Thanksgiving? And I mean, we
Yeah.
hadn't recorded, I guess, really since then, or didn't talk about it. But so I guess it was Wesley that had the game, and basically it was guess. You have this foam microphone, and then you flip over a card, and the card shows a word, and then first person to sing a song with that word in the lyric wins, gets a point. And so we started going through this, and our listening group would be happy to know that Riley won every round. The only time it got fair and that she did not win was
I lost
when,
by
yeah, you lost by like what, 2 points?
maybe.
I mean, it was close, but it was when all three of us were on the same team and we got like a second head start with the word before we put the card down so Riley could see. Like it was still close. So she is the lyricist with a lot of songs. So that was fun. And again, just so you know, like the rest of the family plays along. They love music. So but when we start talking, they tend to bow out pretty quickly. And so I said, yeah, I'll join. And so that's really what kickstarted it. We said, hey, let's listen to this. Our goal was to listen to one album a week. We started that. We got through, I believe, 7 albums. And then
Well,
go
I
ahead.
think it's also, if you ever thought we were doing this just to get famous for making a podcast, um, we did for a while. We had no plan of doing any of this. We did just, it was a good excuse, um, with me, like, I've been away for college for a long time, but we're all super close in the family. But I mean, like, music is where you and I like really connected. And
Yeah.
so I think it was a lot, I don't know how to like word it right, but it was a lot easier to like call a mama pod and tell her all like the drama that's going on and you be in the background and everything like that. But it was harder to like find points where I could like directly dedicate time to talk about music, which is what we really bond over.
Yeah.
Um, like in a semi-formatted way to where we both kind of knew what the conversation was.
Right.
And so that's initially what it was a way for us to kind of dedicate time to our relationship
Yep.
and of common
Father-daughter
love.
time.
Yeah.
And so we started listening to music and, got 7 or so in. And, I was like, I wonder if we could record these and release them as a podcast. Not that we thought anybody would listen. Um, and Riley said yes. And so here we are. So we've got this poster that we're going through. So we have a YouTube channel. So Riley, you
Yeah.
got the poster hanging around you somewhere?
Not
So
hanging.
Riley's
It's
leaning back and getting the poster. So you can see all the scratch off circles. So what's it say across the top? 100 albums,
bucket list.
100 albums bucket list.
So I
Um,
will say it's a little beat up. And if you notice, hey, they've listened to quite a few albums and they're not scratched off. Are they lying to us? Keep in mind when I said it was on clearance,
yeah,
none of the scratch offs work. So that's why it's a little beat up, is because I was trying to figure out if any of them worked. They don't.
yeah,
So we just kind of use it as a guideline and we go as if we're reading a book
yeah.
across, but they don't scratch
So,
off.
yeah. So there we are. So, that's our little poster list. There we got 100 of them. And we started up there top left, which was Dark Side of the Moon. Um,
Crazy start.
yeah. And
Starting strong.
now we're going to the bottom right, which is going to be a long, long time for here. So let's do a spoiler alert and see if anybody remembers. What's the last album on our poster? I don't
All
know.
mod cons by the Jam.
Never heard of them.
Woohoo!
So
We
there we
may we
go.
may switch that around so we'll have a better like end to the poster.
Although that could be an awesome album.
It could
But
be. But another spoiler, when you have Fatboy Slim on the same line,
there we go. There we
we may
go.
put him as a
Yeah,
finale.
there you go. You never know. On our
Well,
poster is all kinds of different ones. It is I've noticed heavy rock genre so far, I think,
we're
which doesn't
breaking away
bother
from that
me.
pretty soon.
Yeah,
I
with
I will.
teaser with the current album that we're going to start listening to open season 2. It is not a rock album.
It's not a
So,
good album.
yeah. So, any other
Start back
like
with at least.
that's kind of how
I
we
think
got
I
to the
also
podcast. We just
I
jumped
will also
into it.
say,
So had we be like Riley said, if we were out after fame and money and all those things, we probably would have planned it a little better and probably
hmm
started with an episode like this.
we
Got
also
like
have
decent
microphones now.
equipment. Yes, we
So
got
if we sound better,
microphones. Yeah, hopefully we
let
sound better.
us know.
And so
We
we would
can.
have figured all that stuff out, but we just we just enjoyed the music. So we started right there and figured some of the other things out as we went along. So hopefully we got a couple of improvements sound wise. We're gonna try and do the a lot of the sound stuff I'd produced after the fact. So we're gonna try and put some of that stuff in live now. We're also gonna go to a programming note every 2 weeks because producing is difficult. Chopping
And
up and making us sound as good as we do is difficult.
and we'll we'll be honest, or I'll be honest. We talked about it before. We felt like doing it once a week was kind of tainting some of our opinions on the music.
Yeah,
Because even if you love an album, there can be some level of fatigue to listening to it. The like I don't know if we've ever talked
there
about this.
was
We don't
no
listen to it.
fatigue when I listened to 10 over and over again.
That's different. That's
Oh,
different.
okay.
But but I don't know if we've ever explained this either. We don't listen to the album once and then talk about it.
Yeah,
We listen to it a lot throughout the week to prepare
yeah,
and kind of come with notes, some better than the others, and
yeah,
like talking points about this music. So I was kind of discovering that that ended up being like the only thing I had time to listen to were these
yeah,
albums. And so I was missing out on some of the music that I really loved on my own. And I was missing out on, I was focusing so much on discovering one album that I was missing out on discovering a lot of music from artists that I did love. And I would like click and find out that one of my favorite artists had released something like 2 weeks or 3 weeks earlier, and I had no idea. And it was that part is also important to me. And so I feel like with all of that in mind, listening to an album for 2 weeks and being able to space it out a little bit more and really enjoy the
yep,
music and not get us tired of it might
right.
allow us to have a little bit more accurate discussions. Who knows? Maybe I would like
I
John
agree.
Lennon.
Probably not, but
No.
the and the other thing that 2 weeks does is it allows us to, if we ever want to throw in something different, we talked about doing this every week. It was we listened to them enough to where, if I'm not mistaken, like our Spotify Wrapped for the end of the year was like all these albums, or
Yep.
it was just these albums because we again we did listen to them so much to
If
try and get a
anyone
good opinion on it. So
if anyone knows my ratings for these albums, you'll know the well, it wasn't that crazy, but the Borderline Despair when Abbey Road made it to like one of my top listened to albums. It was like an identity
yeah,
crisis of mine. I was like, that wasn't even my favorite one that I listened to, but that
yeah,
was one that we talked about on our own and then re-recorded it.
yeah, that's
So
true.
I went through the week of listening through it twice, and it was I like had this whole identity crisis. So I was like, I don't like what in the world happened. But it's funny.
Yeah,
I do also think it's important to note there are 100 albums. That does not mean we're necessarily stopping after we get through these 100 albums.
huh?
Luckily,
What? You mean I
don't
gotta
even
keep
joke.
going on with this?
You gotta keep talking to your daughter.
Oh, oh man.
I know. Um, but yeah, so luckily for us, everyone has a different opinion. There's a few that everyone agrees on, but they're like the Rolling Stones every year comes out with new ratings for what they think are the best 500 albums.
Yeah, keeping them
There's
updated.
also this album or this list only plays one album per artist, but like we said,
Yep,
the Beatles have like all of their albums that are the most iconic albums of all time, and same with like The Wall by Pink
true.
Floyd, and a lot of these other artists have a lot of very
Several
iconic
albums, yeah.
ones.
So,
So there's those to go back to. And then also we have a lot of albums that we think are iconic or should be deemed worthy of that. So some of them might end up just being our opinions, or if any of y'all send in one, once we get kind of through the bulk, we'll figure that out closer too.
yep.
But do not fear, there's not a deadline as there is on our poster for
Yes.
us.
And so hopefully we'll also be able to find a couple more guests to come on and share some other insights. And then also maybe throughout the year find a couple of different avenues to take instead of just album after album. Maybe throw in some breaks with something else. Speaking of which, two things really. One, we're recording this on January 29th, so just a couple of days before the Grammys. So this
Ooh,
will come out after the Grammys, and so it may be the next episode that we talk about maybe some of the performances from the Grammys, which is always exciting.
they
And
always
the
they
do what?
always snub someone. I I'm almost boycotting them for Noah Khan.
Oh yeah. Well, look,
I
on the bright
can't.
side, your boy's got a new
He's
album coming
releasing
out.
music tonight. Bang,
So
bang, bang.
there we go. Um, so excitement in the Riley Barber household.
Yep.
And then the other fun, exciting news is it's coming up in March sometime. But over the Christmas break, we were able to record a couple podcasts or a couple episodes with our friends over at Assorted Crackers, and so be on the lookout for those. They'll be coming, I think, sometime in March. So
I had
got
so much
some
fun.
fun things. So
Hmm.
be listening to those to see what the Barber duo thinks about bourbon. And there's your teaser.
Some of the
So,
nicest. Do
yeah, so there we go. All right. So
you remember how
I'm
this
kind of
works?
lost without our little outline, like least favorite, most favorite. Like we're not doing any of that, so I don't know what comes next. So, song of the
Song of
week.
the
So we're
week.
still doing this episode a song of the week because we're still listening to music. So,
Yeah, we
Riley,
are.
back to the groove. What is your song of the week? And
So
now we're testing out our new stuff by like it's about to play.
my song is an oldie but a goodie. You
It
all
is
know
an
it.
oldie goodie.
You all love it. Jesse's Girl by Rick Street. I don't often, um, I'll be
You
honest,
can leave it. You
that's
can leave it playing or turn it
okay.
up. Like it's hard to, at least for me to hear.
I'll be honest, this is one of my songs that's on my liked playlist that I usually skip because it's one that I'm not always in the mood for, okay? But I
That
like
makes
wasn't
sense.
paying attention and I didn't skip it, and like halfway through, I think it was like this part. And I was like, "Hold on. Didn't know I didn't remember this song had this in it." And so I went through and listened to it, and it just like I just bopped my head and sang along. Um, Horrible premise, very funny premise.
Yeah.
Um, but essentially, like this whole thing is him just being in love with his best friend's girlfriend, um,
Well, there we go.
and just saying he wants her. And it's such a good song, such I don't know, a classic to fall back to. I wouldn't say it's anything like revolutionary. It, it's
Yeah.
so good at the basics that it does.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
and just
is a lot of times what makes a great pop song.
oh,
So many of your pop songs are not like, you know,
just
ones that will
such a
hit
good.
a super high list, but they're just so good at just the basic structure of a song that it's just that good.
And I mean, honest, also his use of his voice. It's when he goes from being quiet and then he just goes like burst with like this
Yeah.
emotion. And the part where he goes like the I just know it, like, and he's like almost like scowling at like this image of seeing this girl in love with his best friend. And it's just, I mean, it's honest, I guess. I think if I was Jesse or knew that I was supposed to be Jesse, well, two things. If I was a man and I knew that I was supposed to be Jesse, I don't know how I would deal with this. If I was Jesse's girl, oh boy, this would be my theme song. If I would play that song, I would walk like, I would feel myself. I don't think anyone could ever say anything against me, knowing that this song was written about me. I don't
Yeah,
think anyone could say a single thing about me ever again. I'd be
nice.
unstoppable. How about you?
How about me? So here's mine. You will know it from the first few notes.
Oh, oh, brother. This
So
has been your song of the week before.
no, it hasn't. Please, I hope it hasn't. I don't think it
Oh no,
has.
I don't think it has. There's so many Pearl Jam songs.
Yeah, but this is one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs, and like, okay, I've listened to quite a bit, and you just have to listen to it in the background and go, I don't think he knew what he was saying. I don't, you know, I'm sitting here watching the lyrics go by on Spotify. I'm not, they have lyrics there. I'm not sure they really match, so I'm not sure anybody really knows. There's a couple in there that you figure it out and you can hear, but for the most part, this is a mumble along song that you just go with. But we've talked about this song quite a bit, just because it was one of those that it didn't quite get finished for 10, and so how much better 10 would have been if this song had made it, but here we are. So
Hey, this
my
replaces Porch.
do what?
Replaced Porch.
No, it would have just been added in because they're all so good.
Porch was one of my least favorites.
Yeah, I
It
know.
just starts too aggressive.
Yeah, yeah.
What the?
But
It's like,
when you
whoa.
are and listen to that guitar, when you're in college, the fact that Porch starts aggressive is very nice. When you're a teenage, 18, 19, filled with the angst and how the world has wronged you for, really hadn't. Um,
For
Porch
being
was,
grown up in a wealthy,
yeah.
not wealthy, loving family.
So that's right.
Thanks.
So there's my song of the week that I will fade
It's a
out
good
while
one.
the guitar is going there. So that leads us to our first album of season two. So,
Oh, it's a good one.
Riley, what is, and now that we have sound, I need to go find us an actual like drum roll to play, but well, yeah,
Um, this
season
is
three goals.
definitely an iconic one. I mean,
Yes.
it may be the most iconic one that we have. Um, or we have, yeah, I don't know. Y'all will have to let us know. The next one is Thriller by Michael Jackson. I can maybe next week if I can set my camera up in a certain way, I could show you all that I can go up on my toes like Michael Jackson.
Uh-oh.
I do have
Yeah,
a
we can
picture of
do
me.
that.
Maybe I'll use that as like my background.
And so
No, but I can do the
here's
toes. I stand on my toes a lot. It's actually very unhealthy for me. Not like on my tiptoes, like I stand on the top of my toes, like on the heel, like the toe of my boot is how I stand. And it's really bad for me. And I try to stop, but it's comforting.
So,
So,
one of the things between now and the actual recording of Michael Jackson, we will also need to make sure that Riley goes and watches the Thriller extended cut version
Yes.
video, so everybody my age will definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. We have tried to show this to you before,
When I was very young,
and what happened?
I got too scared.
So there we
I
go.
was a
She
very
has not
scared
gone back
child.
and watched it. So we'll have to make sure that you find some time to watch that before we
Yeah.
record it so we can at least throw that in there too, because you can't have a conversation about the album, I think, personally, without also at least mentioning that video.
Yeah.
So
Fair. I'm a big music video person. So,
there we go.
yeah,
So,
gotta do it.
we will, you can try and find it on your new site. Go listen to it there, which we'll share that link to. Something else we learned with our crossover event with Assorted Crackers. And so start listening to Thriller.
Yeah.
So the like iconic 1980s album, but one of the best of all time. So go listen to Michael Jackson's
Way
Thriller.
to show your hand, man.
Oh, well, I mean, it may not be. I, I'll have to go. That's me remembering it. Like I'm thinking and hoping that
This
it
was your
holds
first
up.
CD
Ha, that's cute. No,
or vinyl?
no, it was actually probably my second cassette.
Okay. What was your
My
first?
no, I think it was my
You've
first.
always
No,
told
I
me it
think
was
it
your
was,
first
yeah, it was my
something.
first. I was thinking, uh, what is it, Billy Joel, Innocent Man? But no, I think the Billy Joel one was my second one. Thriller was
And
my
I've
first one.
always
And
said,
it was a
oh
cassette tape.
boy. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll see if my opinions have changed and we'll see
Yeah.
if his opinions
And
have stayed the same.
we'll see if it holds true throughout the years. So
Yeah.
I guess that's all we got. So until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm Riley, and this has been another episode of Barber Cuts.